What is up, Internet world, and welcome back to Accelerate. I'm Mike, and this is the all-new Genesis GV80 Coupe. It's called a coupe. I have no idea why these manufacturers call this a coupe. This is a sportback. This is 4 doors. A coupe is 2 doors. And this is an SUV. Maybe they didn't know that. So when you buy the coupe, you don't just get a general GV80 with a little bit of a back end. No, there is some upgrades that you pay for, and we'll talk about the price in a minute. You do get front and rear revised bumpers. You do get different exhausts in the back, a little bit of a ducktail. You also get different interior trims. All that is cool, including these upgraded or different wheels that you can't get on the general GV80, the SUV1 or style. But the biggest difference here is the E-supercharger they've added. You normally get 375 horsepower when you get the general GV80, and this guy is 409, so about 34 horsepower or so more. And that's to propel this heavier GV80 Coupe a little bit faster than the general regular GV80. So the question is, will you spend more money just for the design and a few interior tidbits and some exterior tidbits, or would you just opt for the general GV80 SUV? Well, in this video, I will talk about the front, the back, the interior, take it for a spin, and then give you my general opinion on if I think this is better than its competitors. Even still, it looks kind of the same as the one from 5 years ago. So let's talk about it. Now from this angle, you can really see the bump up here of this cowl hood, and you can see the twin signature headlights. This is very Genesis. You can't mix this up for anybody else. You've got a DRL right there and a DRL right there. And of course you have the individual projector headlights that shoot the light for you to see, because this does have a detection system that reads the road and that'll adjust the suspension. So if there's a big bump coming up, it'll let the suspension know a bump is coming up, be a little bit softer when you hit it. Yep, these lights and that radar help see it. Now, I don't want to forget about this part here, but take a look on the design of what they've done with this hood. They've recessed the hood here, and a lot of manufacturers make a cowl hood or make it higher, but this is sort of recessed just to flow through with this front emblem right here, because there's no emblem on the actual crest grille. It is only on the hood. And I actually like that. Some manufacturers, like take BMW for example, or Mercedes, they have a logo up here and a logo on the hood, but you don't really need a logo. Well, if you did, it'd be covered by a front license plate. Now, as I walk around to the side, I put the four-ways on so you guys could see how the indicators look when they are on. Now, most manufacturers have them in the actual side mirrors, but not Genesis. They are built into the front fenders. So when you see them on any other car, you will know that Genesis is slightly different. Now, as far as wheels go, you have 22-inch wheels that are completely unique to the coupe. You do have front and back black calipers, and then when you look to the side here, you will see you have more of this dark chrome trim around the windows. Now, when the key's in your pocket, you simply walk up to the car, you touch the handle, they will unlock. But what about if you don't close the door properly? You have it like this, and you lightly close it. Well, they have soft closed doors in the front, and well, let's test the back. Yep, it pulls it right in. And then moving down from there, you will see that it is a coupe or sportback, in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about the coupe part. This is the part that people are paying for. So first things first, you can see that it has a panoramic sunroof all the way down. It doesn't go all the way to the end, and it's probably because of the curvature. Where it starts, the sunroof kind of stops. You do have the shark fin, and then you have this upper rear spoiler that to me makes all the difference in the world, besides this part, and I'll get to that in a minute. This right here makes the difference because it's not across or flat. It actually goes halfway, divots down, comes back up again, and looks cool. It's different. It's like super funky. I like it. You do have a camera right there, and that is for your rear view mirror camera. Anyways, let's move down here. You have a little bit of a ducktail. It comes up, and you do have an LED hiding right in there. It's very clean, and you wouldn't even really notice it until you hit the brakes, and you will see it right there. That's your third brake light. As opposed to having it up there, it's hidden in this little built-in wing. Moving down here, this is pretty traditional Genesis stuff. You have the GV80 sign right there. You have the Genesis across the back. It is, of course, all-wheel drive. drive, and this is a 3.5-liter twin turbo with the E supercharger. Going down from there, of course, you have a rear view camera, which is actually not here like I thought. It's actually right there, including a button to open up the tailgate, which I'll show you in a second. Down from there, you have this exhaust that are real. Yep, they are 100% real. And I'm surprised because anytime manufacturer puts any sort of electric anything, including a supercharger, they just get rid of these guys and they're like, no, that's where we're going. But not Genesis. Nope, they actually have exhaust right there. Now these are trim pieces around. The actual exhaust stops in there, but hey, it is still legit. If you put your nose here and breathe, you will eventually die. So let's see how much room we have. I simply hit this button down, this opens up, and it looks like this. All right, this is how much headroom I have. I'm 5'9", and this is what we got as far as headroom. Now, of course, this does have two buttons like most vehicles out there. I hit the button right here, it closes the tailgate, I get back in, or if I have the key on me, I hit this other button and basically locks the vehicle, closes the tailgate, and I can walk away. You do have a lot of room here, and you have a good amount of height. So when I'm standing here, I can simply just put stuff in here. There's a really high load floor, which is what I like. Now, some people don't like a high load floor. They prefer a lower load floor so it's easier to load. But in my opinion, it's hard to take stuff out of it. So you take stuff out, it's easy to get to. I can put all my camera equipment down here. It's easy to grab my gear. I don't have to bend down. I just stand up and it's super straightforward. Now, it does have two buttons, and those buttons are to fold the seats forward. I simply hit it. The seats fold flat. If I hit it again, it doesn't come back up. It's just simply to fold down. What about underneath here? Do I have any storage? I assume not a whole lot. So I will try and lift this carpet up and see what I got. And yep, not bad actually. And it's done this way. I simply hit these buttons down. You can see it is powered. It doesn't just hit the ground running. Hit the other guy and it's slow to go down, which is nice. It feels luxurious. Obviously, I'd want it right away fast. But then when you do that, people think that it's cheap. So this kind of makes sense. It's very smooth to go down. See, if I hit it here, I completely lied. It comes right back up. Damn, Genesis, you got me. Woohoo, back seat of the coupe. Now, if you guys are wondering what color this vehicle is, it's actually Capri blue, not the other blue you guys are thinking about. Now, let me put these seats back. I am 5'9", and look how much headroom I have until I go from economy to premium economy and then business class, because this seat reclines all the way back. Yo, super luxurious. Now, this interior is called ultramarine blue, and it has orange piping and orange stitching, which is magma of color. This is magma because there's a concept out there that is going to come on Genesis, give it to us, that is kind of loosely based around this or the other way around. Now, it's cool to have this color because it really pops. Now, it's very luxurious, so to have this color is a bit out there, but hey, Genesis is really trying to mix up sporty and luxurious, but the luxurious part definitely trumps the sporty part with Genesis. They throw all kinds of luxurious pieces here. Now, remember talking about the back? I said, where is the sunroof? It is all the way up here, and you can clearly see it. Most manufacturers that are SUVs that are large usually has a sunroof that comes to about here, and I say, well, it should just go to here because it makes me feel more like open and airy. But this one's a really small panoramic sunroof. Matter of fact, it's two baby sunroofs or two normal-sized sunroofs kind of stuck together. Anyways, we're talking about the back now. You do have these amazing seats. They are very, very diamond-stitched heavy, and they stick upwards. They're not flat. They're very not flush. Anyways, that's more premium feel, so when you get inside of it, you can touch it. It feels really substantial. When I pull this down, I do have two cup holders, a little storage compartment here. And if you're wondering where the USB-Cs are, well, of course, they're in front of me right there. So when I pull this cover up, I have two USB-Cs in the center rear console, and then I have a full-out plug that I can plug in a toaster if I would like. Then you have climate control. Of course, it is right there. It is not 4-zone. It is 2-zone in the front and a single zone in the back. That is a total of 3 zones. I do have heated and cooled seats on my side, as well as this guy's side. And on the door panel, I do have sunshades that I can pull down here. I do have the Bang & Olufsen sound system, a very premium solid door with a really large armrest right on this side. It's well built, well put together. And if I close this door, listen. Very solid. And if you're wondering, can I move this passenger seat forward because I want to have more space for my legs if I was sitting right here? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can push this button and then boom, that seat goes forward. And Genesis and Hyundai are the only brands, and maybe Kia, that you can push it forward. No other brand can you do that unless, of course, you're driving a Maybach. Then you can totally do it. To the front. So I'm about to jump in this front seat, and I want to tell you that you can get 4 different distinct color combinations on your GV80 Coupe. The first one's called Mono Black with gray stitching. Then you have Ultramarine Blue with orange stitching, which is what this one is. Then you have Vanilla Beige with smoky green and orange sticking. And then finally, Sevilla Red with Obsidian Black. So let me jump in and talk about the front. So here we are, in premium quality at its finest. Now, if you've never thought about Genesis products because you're thinking about other brands, I implore you to take a feel because everything about Genesis is very high quality. So, some upgrades here. When you buy the coupe, you have a flat bottom steering wheel to make it feel more premium, but also more sporty because you're buying the coupe. You have a 27-inch OLED screen that is as clear as can get. Your eyes cannot see any clearer than what this screen can provide. You do have these seats. Now, these seats are sporty yet thick and luxurious. Some people will complain about this diamond stitching being too protruding into your body when you're sitting here, but I don't really feel that way, and it's never really been a complaint to me in driving it all week. So anyways, let's start with the door panel. You have this Bang & Olufsen sound system, and you have 18 speakers in here to pound it, whether you're driving 30 kilometers an hour or like 120 miles an hour, doesn't matter. Lots of the stitching all the way through on the top, all the way through the door panel. Of course, you have the switches to have the windows go down and up all 4 corners. You do have a button here that locks me in the back seat sometimes. Kind of annoying. It has these electric, door handles in the back that you can't get out of. So you hit that button and then there's no baby locks in the back and you can get in and out of it. You do have this display that now has this magma flowing through it. And you can see I can see with my own eyes. It's like very, very moving, if you want to call it that. And then there's the seatbelts. Look at that. Crazy. Anyways. More stitching in the steering wheel that's nice and thick. This is the perfect thickness of steering wheel. I find BMW a little bit too thick, and I found Audi way too skinny. It's like holding my ankles. It is very annoying. I'm like, no, I need more meat on this steering wheel. And this steering wheel is excellent. On the left-hand side, I have all my cruise control buttons. On the right-hand side, I have my speech and then my volume controls and a finger touch sensor I can slide up and down, very easy to use. And then, of course, the Genesis logo right in the center. Now, I would have liked if they put something on the bottom here like the Germans do, saying something like coupe or something cool and funky. I think that's a missed point right there. I think you should have done that, Genesis. So let's start off with the seat. When I touch the seat, it shows me exactly what I'm doing and what buttons affect what. So you can see now, that's my backrest, my bottom, and of course this is the leg extenders in case I wanted to have it. And then if I hit the button above it, this is what this ergo motion seat does. Now this is not a full massage seat. This is more just like a lumbar going up and down. It's not a full like shiatsu move, which is kind of weird at this price point. You expect it to have more than that, but anyways, it is what it is. I simply want to go to off. I hit it a couple more times and then off it is out of the way. Now, if I want to slide left and right, you see this is what it looks like. I don't have to use this knob on the bottom, although it's very, very fast. And you can see I have vehicle, navigation, sound, device connections, and layouts. So let's start off with vehicle because that's important for people to know. So if I get into this, you can see you can actually change the sound in the vehicle. So in terms of like the amplified sound when I hit the throttle, that roar, you can actually shut it off or you can have the largest change. And that's called sets the perceived engine sound. You have a heads-up display, your cluster, your climate control, lights, that kind of stuff, including a digital key, which is important nowadays. You can actually just have a digital key and off you go when you jump in your vehicle. When I hit this button, it takes me back to the main menu, but I want to show you how fast the map works. I think that's important for people to know in case they don't want to use Apple CarPlay, which is pretty much impossible today. You can see that it does all these things. It tells me how much distance I have, that kind of stuff. If I want to zoom in, zoom out, I simply just do this. And it's very easy to use and it tells you the distance, which is so cool, I find. Anyways, out of this mode, back to the home mode. And let's show you one more thing before I jump into the Apple CarPlay or the display of Apple CarPlay. And that is, say, satellite radio. So if I want to go to satellite radio, what does it look like? Well, it looks like this. I'll turn this down so I don't get copyrighted. And voila, this is what it looks like. I can just skip backwards and forwards. What happens if I want to see more stuff here? These are your preset modes on the bottom. AM, FM, very clear to see, very easy system to use. And maybe we'll do one more thing. Let's go all the way here. So let's talk about Mood Curator. And this is where it's going to give you a sound to provide vitality in this specific case. You can between vitality, delight, care, and comfort. So I turn the volume up, you get a bit of a display to feel more calm from my ADHD movements. All right, that's enough. So that's how it's done. You can obviously sit in your car, you can have these different mood curators, or you can just put on Apple CarPlay, listen to your tunes, and enjoy the 18 speakers from Bang & Olufsen, and take it for a rip. I'm in the 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe, and this has the V6 twin-turbo 3.5 liter with an electric supercharger. It makes 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. I'm in Sport Plus. It's got Eco Comfort Sport and Sport Plus. I will put my foot on the ground, foot on the gas, and see what we can get to 60 with. And let's go. Not bad shifting. Okay. Very smooth and comfortable to 5.35 seconds. It is not the fastest thing I've ever driven. It is actually fairly slow, but it's very smooth and luxurious. That's the theme with this Genesis GV80. Now, I'll put it back into comfort or maybe even eco. Now, this is not the first GV80 I've driven. This is the third one. Yep, I've driven the first generation, the second generation, and now this, the Coupe. This is a very expensive vehicle, and it's because coupes have become expensive. So here we are, testing the 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe. Now it's available in a 5 or a 7, gives you lots of trim, lots of soft seats, lots of exclusivity when you're buying something like this. It is just more expensive now, which is kind of the opposite of why we bought Genesis. It was very well priced, gave you lots of exciting stuff for cheaper than everybody else, but now it is catching up to everybody else. It's like we've made our name for ourselves and people should pay. And I kind of don't always agree, because people bought it because of its price. The value you got for the luxury that they gave you was just astronomical. It is crazy now that this is like 107,000 Canadian dollars, which is a lot of money, especially when you hit 6 figures. 6 figures doesn't really buy much anymore, but Genesis, you were giving us hope for such a long time with all the great quality products you brought us. So what about its competitors? Well, it competes against the BMW X6, the Audi Q8, and the Mercedes-Benz GLE 450 Coupe. But those weigh a lot less. Yep. The BMW and the Audi weigh under 5,000 pounds, about 4,800 or so. And the Mercedes-Benz, that's a coupe, it weighs about 5,000 pounds. But this guy weighs 5,200 pounds. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but 200 pounds is a lot of weight. Just add a buddy in the car and you'll know how much that feels when you're accelerating. So you have that consistently. And Genesis says it's because they had to add enhancements for the coupe design. So then I say, well, then maybe the people that buy coupes aren't really there to just speed. They're there for the show, for the glamour, for the glitz. And that's probably why it costs what it does, because how much more money can a little bum give you? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Matter of fact, none of these coupes make any sense. Nobody should make an SUV that's a coupe. It's just idiotic. Keep it an SUV, make it fast if you have to. Even that kind of is idiotic, but we're at the change in our lives and that's just never going to go away. That's just, it is what it is. But the coupe part, I'm like, what? Why? I mean, some of them look cool. Some of them, not all of them. Like, listen guys, the first X6 was ugly as hell. Ugly as hell. Even the new stuff is ugly as hell. The X4, coupe, ugly as hell. I don't even know why they make these things with coupes. Just keep them SUVs, keep them boxy. Like the best looking SUVs are boxes. Range Rover, G-Wagon, Jeep. Like, think about it. Just keep it boxy. So because I believe the GV80 is a better city vehicle than it is an urban vehicle, I'm going to show you some features that it has that I pretty much use all the time when I'm driving it. So first things first is obviously keeping your lane, stop and go, all that fun stuff. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's done very easily by hitting this cruise control button and then the button above it. It sets the speed and I simply just leave it and I just kind of chill and I can do what I want, take my hands off. I can talk to you for the next 20 minutes. It's all good. Maybe not 20 minutes, but maybe like, I don't know, 3 minutes before this thing starts telling me beep, 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 focus on the road, Mike, like right there. And it's not because I wasn't paying attention, it's because the lines in the road actually disappeared for about half a second. So it's bouncing me off the lanes here, left and right, left and right. Is it centering me? No, and it's probably because I haven't pressed a button. So I'm gonna push this button here, and now it has the picture of the wheel. So now it's gonna take control of the wheel, and it's gonna center me up, and it's just gonna do its thing. And yeah, here I am, looking left, looking right. In front of me, it tells me there's a vehicle in my back right corner. It's monitoring everything. I see everything in my heads-up display. Pretty straightforward stuff, and this is probably the easiest way to get in the GV80 and just drive it for what it is. Super easy, super simple. It's asking me now to keep my hands on the steering wheel, so I'll simply just touch it and then remove my hands, and then voila, it does its thing, and off I go. Now, not everybody's gonna drive like this, but this is just to give you an indication of how this thing rolls, how it drives. And this is not the only car, obviously, on the planet that has this kind of stuff. Pretty much everybody now has it. But this system allows you to kind of be flexible a little bit more than everything else. Every other car will just tell you, as soon as you take your hands off the wheel, within 5 seconds, it's bugging you to do it. Now, of course, cars in front of me are braking. There's a traffic light. It just does its thing, and here I am, loving life. So there's a plus for the GV80.